Hello YouTube. It has been a hot minute. Kate Aurora, IFBB Bikini Pro, wife, mother, working professional, all of that wonderful stuff. This is my first video that I have done in the start of 2022. So happy new year. I hope your year has started off fantastic. Mine has been super busy, but overall good. I figured I would do a video while I'm folding my laundry because I have nothing else better to do when I'm folding my laundry than talk. So this video is actually about starting your fitness journey / finding a coach. So many of you know I might have a little bit of some biases here, so I'll just go ahead and pull full disclaimer at the beginning. I am basically the sales manager for my team, Boss Bodies. We are a competition and lifestyle fitness team that focuses mainly on females. We do have some male clients, but the majority of them are female that either want to live a healthier lifestyle or compete, mainly in bikini, and our wellness clients are growing as well. So full disclosure there, but my job, what I do for them, and this is something I do on the side for my main job, my primary job, which is marketing manager for a mounting solutions company. So I do this as a side gig, but what I do is I do a lot of consultations with people, basically to talk to them about their goals, what they're wanting to do, and basically sell them packages at Boss Bodies, show the benefits. But I guess in a way I might not be the best salesperson, because I will tell people that if we're not a fit for you, that's totally fine. We want you to be successful in your journey, and you want to make sure that you pick the right coach and the right approach that best fits you and your lifestyle. So I always tell people that, to never feel bad for not going with us, but if anything changes, we're always there for you. So now that I got that disclaimer out of the way, if you are interested after this video and you do want to talk with me about Boss Bodies, about competing, anything like that, I will go ahead in the description. I will include my email address for Boss Bodies. Please don't hesitate to send me an email. I am happy to talk with you about everything that we have to offer, and even get you synced up with one of our coaches for a free consultation. I am not a coach. Let me just say that again. I am not a coach. That is not my calling. My calling is more in the recruitment and renewal side of things. I know enough to be dangerous. I know enough to look at a particular client and say, yes, you would be successful competing. I can look at a client and basically give her an idea if she needs to take more time off to build muscle, or if she will be ready to step on stage within a certain time frame. So that I do know enough about, but I am not a coach. So if you're looking at me to possibly coach you, I am not your girl. I appreciate it, I'm flattered, but that's not my area of expertise. So with that being said, I'm going to dive into this. I talk to several people just about weekly about competition or just getting a lifestyle change. And one of the things I'll start with is, first of all, let's take the approach that you are looking to make a lifestyle change. Okay, you're not competing. You just want to get fit. You want to eat better. You want to understand what it is that you can do to maybe make adjustments, healthier adjustments to your daily life. There's a lot of things that you can do that do not require a coach, just to start, okay? First of all, you can join a gym. It's not necessarily you have to do that, but it's something that will help you get closer to your goals as far as losing weight, because you will be active, you'll be moving. Walking is free though. You can go outside and walk anywhere. So that's something that you can do. There's all sorts of like at-home workouts that you can kind of do. But I will say, for me, the gym is my me time. I feel so much better when I leave the house and go to the gym. During COVID, I'm sorry, those home workouts, for a while, if I saw a band in my face, I was going to vomit or burn the darn thing. So I was so sick and tired of band workouts. No, I want to go in, I want to throw some heavy iron, I want to beat my body up, go home and call it a day. So that's just me. That's what I love. A lot of people they don't have a whole lot of time during the day, and I get that. They're literally just trying to make a dent in just as far as like, I only have an hour, okay? So you don't need to do more than an hour as far as your workouts go. You could do 30 minutes of weights and 30 minutes of cardio and call it a day. But one of the things I used to love, and this is before competing, and I was pretty fit. I was very healthy. I used to love doing classes, hour-long kickboxing or kickbox dance, or pump classes where you were lifting weights. So there's several smaller gyms such as Orange Theory, I know is one of them. CrossFit's great. CrossFit can be a bit expensive, but that is an option that you can do. But there's all sorts of I think Pure Barre is another one. Not my cup of tea, but it's something, if you're looking for something that is different, it's just an hour, you go in, you do something and you're done. Anything else you do is kind of like extra credit. But that's a great way to get healthy. I will say though, if you are trying to tone up, if you don't have muscle, you have nothing to tone, okay? So if you want to tone up and you want to have show your shoulders and, I'm not saying you want to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything, but if you're wanting to really actually tighten up, your best bet is to lift weights and lift heavy. So keep that in mind. If your goal is to tone up and lose body fat, some sort of combination of heavy resistance training along with cardio is going to help you get closer to your goals. There's lots of other ebooks out there that you could get that are very helpful. One of the things though that should throw some red flags at programs that sugar and carbs the enemy, okay? Especially if you're trying to tone up, as we said, you need to build muscle. You cannot build muscle if you're not eating food, okay? You need protein and you need carbs. And your carbs and protein, a good chunk of it should be eaten around those lifts if you want to get the best bang for your buck, okay? Fats are also great. Everything is great, but any program that basically says, you can have 3 almonds and an 8-ounce chicken breast, and don't you dare, you can have fruit maybe twice a day, or twice a week. That's not a good program. You should run from things like that. Sugars are not the enemy. Carbs are not the enemy. Are all carbs created equal? No. You have some that are processed and you have some that are whole. There's nothing wrong with jasmine rice. I'm telling you, when I get shredded, one of my primary carb sources is from jasmine rice. Okay? Nothing wrong with it. It's great. Potatoes are great. Sweet potatoes are great. Purple potatoes are great. Fruits are fantastic. Let me tell you something. Every morning, I eat 85 grams of blueberries. That's huge. It's high in fiber, high in antioxidants. Why wouldn't you eat that? There's nothing wrong with fruit, okay? So if you have a program that's telling you that fruit is bad for you, I'm sorry, run the other direction, okay? Whether that's an ebook or one of these communities. My opinion, I don't think those are self-sustainable, okay? The thing about a lifestyle change, if that's what you're going for, not competition, if you're going for a lifestyle change, you need to find a program that you can adhere to in the long term. That's what's going to work for you. So if you can say bye-bye to all carbs and keto is your way to go, and you can do that because that fits you and you're not going to sit there and crave fruits and other things and maybe dark chocolate that you want to have occasionally, fine, go for it. But I'll tell you, 98% of the population is not built that way. You may feel great for a while, you may look great, you may, it may work for you, but there will come a time that the moment you start adding those foods back in, your body's not going to know what to do with it. So one of the things that I want to make sure that you understand, or that I've learned over time, is complete restriction is not something that you can sustain long term. It just isn't. Allowing yourself to, for me, tracking macros is where it's at, because I can have whatever I want and it works within my budget, my caloric budget, my fats, my protein, my carbs. Obviously, if I am craving a piece of dark chocolate, that's going to take a lot of the budgeted fats and carbs that I have for the day. And you don't get much for it. But if it's something I'm craving, I can go ahead and have it and I track it. Same thing, wine. If I want a glass of wine, I can go ahead and have that. There are a lot of programs these days that are singing and the praises about how they cut out wine or alcohol completely. If you really just want a challenge and you want to get away from alcohol completely, fine. Again, the diet that you're gonna do the best is the one that you can adhere to. For me, I like to be able to work those types of things in. A glass of wine is not the enemy. It's not gonna kill you. I usually deduct that out of my carbs for the day, but you can also deduct it out of the fats. That's usually how it works. A glass of wine, I usually take about 24 grams of carbs out of my daily budget to have that glass of wine. But do you see, you're drinking your calories away. So that's just something that you make sure that it's a trade-off. If it's something you want, then have it, but you understand that it takes away from something else. Another thing, that little trick that I love air fried green beans. I don't know why. I've tricked my brain into thinking that they taste like French fries, maybe because that was what I did in prep. But I love air fried green beans, and I can eat a crap ton of them. Like, I can eat 120 or 130 grams of air fried green beans, and that's only like 10 grams of carbs or 12 grams of carbs, which is nothing. So, and I feel full and I'm getting lots of fiber out of it. There's a lot of these programs out there that talk about, hey, we got all these people to lose all this weight and keep it off, and, really look into them, really check to see if you're even eating, because some of these programs too will deplete you so bad. It's almost worse than a competition prep diet, just because you want to lean out. You do not need to, if you're trying to lose weight, let's say you have 60 pounds to lose. How long did it take for you to put on those 60 pounds? It's probably going to take about that same amount of time to take it off. Slow and steady always wins the race. The amount of weight in that short of time is not realistic. So be realistic with yourself. Don't set unrealistic goals, okay? If you have 60 pounds to lose, be prepared to take several months to do this. It could be 8 months, it could be 10 months, it could be a year, it could be 18 months. All my new mamas out there, when you put on your pregnancy weight, I know after my son, I did put on a lot of weight. I put on 60 pounds with my son. And I lost the weight, oh my goodness. I think he was about 6 months old. Obviously, like at the beginning, I was induced, I had a lot of fluids and stuff like that. So I lost a lot of the weight just by nursing and doing those types of things, but then also just kind of eating better. So I lost I shred a lot of the weight, but I was still looking pretty pregnant for a while. And it just takes time. It just takes time getting yourself back to being active, especially because childbirth in general is a very traumatic experience on your body. So especially if you've gone through a C-section, don't rush getting back to being fit. Okay, seriously, just don't rush it. If anything, just kind of eat whole foods, eat things that are good for you, good for the baby, especially if you're nursing, but don't expect to just shred the weight immediately. And you're gonna be uncomfortable in your skin for a while. I know I was. So it's normal and it's gonna be okay. This too does pass. But then, let's say you are, a few months postpartum or even a year postpartum, it's totally possible for you to get into shape. It will come off. It just is one of those things that you have to take the time necessary. Because like I said, same thing. You put on that much weight, you are growing a human being. Give yourself the grace to gradually lose it. All right, so here are just those are just some of the things that I was thinking about as far as non-coach related. If you're trying to lose weight or do a better healthy lifestyle type of approach on your own without hiring somebody, that's kind of the way I would do it. Or if you wanted to join, like I said, a community or something like that, purchasing ebooks are a great idea. But that's probably more affordable ways. Okay, at the end of the day, the best bet, if you can afford it and if you can work it into your budget, a coach is a really, really good idea. And the reason why is because a coach can tailor everything to you. He or she can look at your body and basically give you guidance that's specific to you, okay? So these ebooks, these communities, a lot of times they're basically giving you like a cookie cutter type of plan, like, okay, everybody's on 1,200 calories and we'll just see. As far as like your height goes too, so like me eating 1,200 calories versus a person, I'm 5'6", versus someone who is 5'1" eating 1,200 calories. 1,200 calories for that 5'1" person might be like maintenance, if not surplus for her. For me, it's like, that's a cut. That's a deficit. But then someone who is maybe 5'9" or 5'10", a woman, and there are women that are that tall, them eating 1,200 calories is like an extreme deficit, okay? So when you have all these people doing the same thing, and maybe you have someone who needs to lose 80 pounds, another person who only needs to lose 10 pounds, I mean, you can figure this out, right? Like, it's not rocket science. That's not exactly the best approach. So if you can find somebody who can literally tailor a program to you based on your height, based on your weight, based on your current physique, your current physique makeup, having that is going to be your best bet. So what should you do? Let's say you found it out and you found your budget. You have determined that, I can afford X amount for a coach, okay? First thing you want to consider is that not all coaches are created equal, okay? Especially when it comes to price. So if you are only willing to spend like $100 a month on a coach, good luck trying to find someone who is not only experienced, but going to put you on a diet, put you on a plan that is not going to destroy your metabolism. They might be out there. It's possible, okay? However, you get what you pay for. So if you find a coach that costs that little, you have to talk with him or her to get a feel for his or her approach and personality. If they're not willing to even talk with you and they say, these are my rates, take it or leave it, leave it. It's not worth it. Because you're likely, especially when you get into those types of situations, a coach could very well run you into the ground and do lots of metabolic damage. And that's really hard to reverse. Once you go down that road, it's really hard to change it. And then you end up not only having issues with your physique, your confidence is shot, and you put yourself in a position, it ends up taking longer and it's more expensive to fix the damage than it would have been if you would have just gone ahead and sprung for a more qualified coach at a budget that is more, at a budget that might be just a little bit more. Don't just focus on the price, okay? That's something that I do talk with a lot of our clients at Boss Bodies. We are not the cheapest, we're not the most expensive either. However, everybody, as far as the coaches on the team, are very knowledgeable as far as lifestyle and competition, and they have earned the prices that we offer, because it does give you a lot. Another thing is always do a consultation with a coach, and I think you should talk to multiples. You should talk to a minimum of like 2 or 3 to make sure you get a really good feel for the approach and the person that you want to work with. You should have a relationship with your coach. The relationship should be that you feel comfortable on the phone with that person. You feel comfortable hearing his or her credentials, hearing his or her approach, what successes they've had. You want to make sure that they're even willing to get on the phone with you. Like I said, if they're not willing to get on the phone with you, walk the other way. They're not worth it. They should be willing to pick up the phone and talk with you. And ask them all the questions. Tell them your experience. Tell them, say, this is my goal. This is where I'm at right now. What would you do to help me get to where I want to be? And be prepared for honesty. If someone basically says you can lose 60 pounds within 3 months for that wedding that you're trying to get ready for, but then you talk to another coach and he or she says, that's a lot of weight to lose, and I can get you to a comfortable spot, but we're not going to lose all that weight. We're going to get you to at least be comfortable with your own skin. It's just going to take some time to lose weight. If you go to that other coach that promised you the world, more than likely it's not going to happen. More than likely, or it'll happen and you're going to be miserable the entire freaking time. So keep that in mind when you're talking with these coaches, or just make sure that you really have that feel. You should be able to feel confident and comfortable with communicating with this coach, because you're going to need to tell him or her, especially females, everything. Like everything that's going to help him or her do your plan. If your digestion is off, meaning you haven't had a BM in like 2 weeks, if your cycle is coming, if it's not coming, and you're late, those types of things. Things that you might think might be TMI are very good things for a coach to understand if you've been stressed at work, because that's going to answer a lot of questions as far as like your weight fluctuations and things like that. So you need to make sure that you feel comfortable with this coach, and you make sure that you talk with several of them, and then make a decision. Make a decision that's best for you. Don't make a decision because, well, my best friend's on this team and I really want to be working out with her, or I want to do this show with her. You can still do that show with her and not be on the same team. At least for me, if you call Boss Bodies and you do a consultation with us and you go with a different team, but then you compete with a Boss Bodies athlete, I'm still going to cheer you on. Like, I don't care, and the team shouldn't care. If they do, then there's a reason why you didn't choose them. So I just want to make sure that people make the right decision for themselves, because that is what's most important. As far as competition clients, so now we're going to get into the competition area. Very similar to lifestyle, but that's the same thing, is that you need to be able to not just look at pricing. A lot of times you can probably find a local coach that is going to be more inexpensive than, say, some of these more reputable larger teams. And I'm not saying that they're not reputable. And some of them, you may have somebody who's literally just starting out. He or she may be just trying to tap into the coaching market, and he or she's just charging next to nothing because they need to build their clientele. They need to build a name for themselves. And I'm not saying that that's not, that he or she is a bad coach. Some trials and errors, so be prepared for that. And I bet you a lot of these coaches that are out here, that are even those big name ones, they'll tell you that they had a lot of failures before they figured out the successes. So, everybody's got to start somewhere. So do keep that in mind. If you have faith in this person and you click with them and you have confidence, then go for it. However, look at some of these people. You do need to kind of look at their track record. Again, really get an idea of their approach, and understand that some of these other teams, maybe that have more experience and have a better track record, they're not going to be the cheapest, and that's okay. If it's something that you want to do, then I would suggest, and you really want to work with one of those teams, I say budget it in. Work it in your budget, figure out how you can make it work and make it work, because it is so worth having a coach that understands your body. And I'll tell you, the turnover in coaches in this industry, especially for competition, is huge. You know, you'll see someone with one team and one coach 1 minute, and then after, you know, they are with them for 6 months, and then they leave, and then they're with a new team and a new coach. And then they start the new competition season, may or may not do as well as they had hoped. They go into off season and then they're with another coach, another team. It's very common, not poo-pooing on that at all. However, if you can find a coach, a long-term coach, someone that you can work with for years, it's amazing what you can do. I've been with my coach now almost 5 years. She knows my body so well. She knows what my body likes. She knows what it doesn't like. We can prep on point. And obviously this 2021, our most recent prep, that was our third full prep together. Well, third full prep together. And at that, everything went off without a hitch, because she knew my body. She knew exactly what to do. And also it came down to me too. I did my reverses better. I followed my protocol better. So there was kind of a yin and yang between the two of us that made it work. So the longer you can stay with the coach, the better off you're going to be in the long haul. So I definitely think that if you know, obviously if a coach isn't working out for you and you are not clicking or vibing with him or her, then yeah, you need to search for a different coach. So I'm not saying just stick it out and tough it out with them. But what I am saying is, you know, really dig deep. Is it his or her fault? Could you have done better? Or you just looking for a different approach? And if any of those are the answers, then you make that decision. Still, you know, when you, especially if you are going into a competition prep, you're trying to find a coach. Let's say you're a novice competitor, you've never done this before. Understand that a competition prep minimum should take about 5 months. There's no more of this 12-week prep anymore. That used to be the thing. Like for the longest time, I think since like, I don't know, 2012, ever since 2012, there's always like, oh, 12 weeks out, gotta get ready. 12 weeks out, time to get ready. And then you're just crash dieting for 12 weeks. No, I think the shortest a prep really should be is about 5 months. So you need to factor in how long your prep should be. So 5 months, maybe your prep. If you don't have that much weight to lose. If you have a lot of weight to lose, you could be looking at 7 to 8 months of a prep. Either way, whatever your prep duration is, make sure that you also, into your budget, factor in 6 to 8 weeks post-show, whether or not you're gonna compete again, to work on a proper reverse with that coach. That coach is going to get you out of that show. And that's something that you should talk about in your consultation is, do you offer a reverse post-show? When I'm done competing, do you offer reverse? If they say no, again, run, get away from them. However, if they do offer it, then just ask them what their protocol is, how they do it, all of that. And I will say, doing a prep is hard. Show prep is hard. Nothing is harder than the reverse. I'm sorry. Show prep is fun. Well, you have your moments, but show prep is hard. But man, reversing out of that show, especially when you really don't have anything. Like for me, I don't have anything for a year. I'm not competing until 2023. So reversing when you know you're not going to be, you have no end in sight. It's like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? And I want to eat all the foods. Why should I care? I'm not going to be stepping on stage until 2023. So you set your body up for a pretty bad situation. So do make sure you factor in 6 to 8 weeks post-show if you are a competitor. I think I covered everything. I may have rambled a little bit. As finding a coach, talk to them. Talk to a few. Interview the coach. It's just as much an interview, you interviewing the coach to see if he or she is the right fit for you, as it is for him or her to see if you are the right client to add to his or her list. So there needs to be a vibe. If there's no vibe, no hard feelings, or there shouldn't be. If there are, then there's a reason why you're not picking that coach. However, if you have a good vibe on this coach and you feel a good energy, a good connection with him or her, look at your budget, make sure that it's somewhere in line with what he or she is offering, and then see what you can do to make it work and hire that coach. And when you hire that coach, listen to what he or she gives you, all right? You're paying the money for that coach. Do the program that they customized for you. If you're not doing the program that they're customizing for you, then what the heck are you doing? So don't do extra credit, but then don't cheat yourself and say, oh, I'm not in the mood to do this today. Do what they're prescribing to you. You have to do the work. It doesn't boil down to anybody else but you. So I hope this helps somebody. Like I said, I will include my contact information for Boss Bodies. If you are interested in talking with me about our lifestyle or competition coaching, I'm happy to give you information on that. I am also happy to sync you up with one of our coaches for a free consultation. One or more of our coaches. I know there's some girls that I talk to that want to talk to two of our coaches, and that's perfectly, and then pick one of the ones that they talk with. So that's perfectly fine. With that, I am almost done folding my laundry. Thank goodness I have a ton. I hope to be on here again soon with another video. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. With love. Bye, y'all.